Welcome to the Bible reading journey, where we are traveling from Genesis to Revelation. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're just joining us, welcome to the journey, and just jump in where we are because it's never too late to start. Lighthouse Ministry is happy to be traveling this road with you. And today we are on day number 135 of the Bible reading journey. Today's reading itinerary is the book of Esther, chapters 8 through 10. You might want to pause here and first dive into today's reading for yourself. Then join us back here for thoughts about today's journey. Today's journey is titled Mordecai's Exaltation. And in your text notes, there's an outline of the book of Esther to guide us on our journey. And today we are at the end of that outline as we close this book of Esther. We are on 2B of the outline. So as we close Esther in chapter 8, we read about the promotion of Mordecai. After Haman's ironic death, his property was given to Queen Esther, who gave it to Mordecai. And his position of power as prime minister was also given to Mordecai. Haman's decree from the king to annihilate the Jews on a certain date could not be revoked. But Mordecai was able to have the king issue another decree that allowed the Jews to annihilate any of their enemies on that same date, to have a counter effect. And then in chapter 9, protection of the Jews. When the date arrived for the two decrees, it was not the Jews that were destroyed, it was their enemies. And the Jews celebrated this divine protection with great joy. And finally, in chapter 10, some praise for Mordecai. The book of Esther ends with this summary of Mordecai. In verse 3, chapter 10. He was very great among the Jews, who held him in high esteem, because he continued to work for the good of his people and to speak up for the welfare of all their descendants. Our thought from the day comes from the Daily Walk Bible. To know God's will is life's greatest treasure. To do God's will is life's greatest pleasure. The challenge of the day. Think back to all of the challenges of the Jewish people, both from within and from without, that are recorded in the Bible. Also, think about the continued challenges of the Jewish people throughout history. Now, as the Daily Walk Bible states, and yet, as you look at your map of the Middle East today, there boldly stands the tiny nation of Israel, still very much a part of God's continuing plan. If God will bring his chosen people through centuries of chaotic history and preserve them from extinction, in spite of unbelief, disobedience, and indifference, what do you suppose he is capable of doing in your life? Especially if he has your cooperation. And we have two memory verses today. Galatians 6, 9 through 10. This is the NIV translation. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers. Your text notes contain information on how to find us on YouTube, Facebook, and email. Happy travels today. See you next time. This is Lisa at Lighthouse. God bless.